So handstands are not easy. I made this video to make them easier. Mobility tips to immediately improve your handstand. Let's get started. What's going on, guys? My name's Justin Bauer. This channel is Sort of Gymnastics. It's all about functional fitness, bodyweight badassery. Today we're breaking down the handstand mobility exercises to instantly improve your handstand. If you like content like this, subscribe, comment, like, do all that stuff. Subscribe, share, do whatever the hell you want. So today we're breaking down three things. We are touching on flexibility, we are touching on soft tissue work, and also some mobility. These three things combined are going to instantly improve your handstand. You're going to be getting that nice smooth handstand where your hands, your shoulders, your hips, your toes are all in a single line. That is where you want to be. That is nirvana. That is handstand nirvana, and this video is going to get you there. So let's make it happen. So we need to be getting loose in our shoulder, our thoracic, and our hips. So I will demonstrate my shoulder mobility before I do all these exercises. I'm gonna run through everything and I'll demonstrate it again, and then I'm gonna be doing a handstand. It's gonna be super crispy, super crispy, super crispy. So this is the video of my before shoulder mobility. I do have a good degree of shoulder mobility because I've been doing these exercises for years now. The thing is, it wasn't always this good. There is still room for improvement. Let's dive into the exercises. So the first exercise I'm going to be doing is opening up my lats. There are two exercises that I like to do here. The first one being a child's pose. So this is kind of like a child's pose pulled to one side, and then you're going to be getting a really deep lat stretch from your rear deltoid all the way through that entire through your entire lat. So I make sure to hit this on both sides, and then this is a very good exercise just in general to open up those lats. The second stretch that I like to do for lats is what I call just like a pull on a chair. So basically you grab onto something. I am currently using some of the equipment in my gym here in my apartment. I will grip onto it with my hand, palm facing up. I will shift my hip back. I will push my hip back, and then I will get a very, very deep stretch. So this one is actually much deeper than the child's pose that I had demonstrated. So I do prefer using this stretch to really get loose in the lats, but I always warm it up with the child's pose before that. The next set of stretching we're gonna be looking at is the pectoral stretch. So I'm basically laying down in this T position here. What I'm gonna be doing is actually starting with my palms up, and palms up is a little bit easier. So what I do here, I rotate onto one side and basically getting a very, very deep stretch in my pectorals, my upper deltoid, so on and so forth. I'm gonna be rolling over to hit the other side as well, keeping everything nice and even, because you know how we do it here. The next stretch I'm doing is actually just the same thing, except my palm is facing down. This also increases the intensity. I think there's a little more stretch in the bicep personally. So when I'm doing this palm down, it's a little bit in the bicep, it's in that upper front deltoid, and then also again the pectoral muscle. So the caveat here is you're hitting bicep, and as you see here, I'm like leaning into this move. There are two things I do. So sometimes I will take my opposite hand and push it into the ground to get a little bit of a deeper stretch, or if you prefer, you can also take your hand and reach it and try to like hit the back of your palms together. I don't really like this one that much because I do have really thick lats. That's like the only thing that's really big on me. So I can't really get a very good stretch doing that. So I typically just try to push. So the final pec stretch that I like to do, I will get, again, lay down on my stomach. I will elevate my hands kind of in like a Y position. So my biceps are actually closer, more in line with my ears. My hands are well above my head. And then it will do a similar rolling over motion. And again, this is just going to be hitting that pec, that front deltoid, even a little bit of bicep from a different angle. So this is really good in hitting multiple ranges of the chest and bicep. And again, guys, all of this will pull back into that good handstand. You need to have a loose everything for a handstand. So the next stretch is going to be the wrist stretch. And this one is actually super important because when you're on a handstand, your entire weight, your entire body weight is pushing through your hands and pushing your hands backwards. So if your wrists aren't loose, you're gonna be prone to getting a lot of tendonitis, which like happens to everyone that works out and does like calisthenics or bodyweight exercises. They're always fighting tendonitis. So you need to have loose wrists, and then you can avoid that altogether. The thing is, don't ever get lazy on wrist stretching. stretching, because I mean, I know it feels good to just kick up into a handstand, but if you don't warm up your wrists beforehand, you're gonna be susceptible to tendonitis and training is gonna suck. You're not gonna wanna do it. You're not gonna be motivated. So try to keep your wrists loose. I'm running through just a handful of directions. My palms are up, my palms are down. I'm trying to face every single direction to open my wrists up as much as possible. So again, if I have loose wrists and I'm going for a perfect handstand position, from my hands, my shoulders, my hips, my feet all being in a straight, exact, like nice little line, it all starts with the wrists. So if you have nice loose wrists, you won't need to be doing that like extra compensation with your body, and again makes it just a little bit easier to hold that good handstand. Next up is gonna be hip flexors. So from the hip flexors, it's again the typical hip flexor stretch that we do like in every one of these videos. We're gonna be starting by just doing a lunge forward, and we're gonna be hitting both legs as always, keeping it even. And the reason being is when you're in a handstand and you have really tight hips, if you can't really align your pelvis, that's gonna cause bending in the spine, and again, it's gonna throw off your equilibrium in the handstand. You're not gonna have that smooth, sexy handstand line. You're gonna be a little bit tilted, so the hips are actually really essential in holding a nice handstand. The next move that we need to talk about is the bicep stretch, and the biceps are pretty important because it does tend to cause a lot of tightness. The first stretch is the hand against the wall stretch. This one is basically your fingers are pointing down, your palm is against the wall, you are rolling your body over and getting a deep stretch through specifically your bicep. This move will give you a very nice loose bicep. So again, it's gonna help you with your handstands. Now the next one is, hey guys, seriously, shh, don't tell anyone, don't tell anyone. Do not tell anybody about this move, all right? This is the dumbbell bicep stretch. In the dumbbell bicep stretch, you are just on like, I grabbed 25s here. So basically, you get up into this tabletop position by holding onto these dumbbells, a super deep, intense bicep stretch. Don't tell anyone, all right? Just don't tell anyone, all right? It's our secret, it's our secret. It's really good. You can use it. You can, if you subscribe, I'll let you use it. And next up, we have the wall stretch, and then also the inverted wall stretch. This one is pretty damn intense, but again, it will pry your thoracic wide open. Beautiful stretch. If you can do it, go for it. It's really nice. Next up is the bridge. So we are kind of going to the crazy layer here. Just wait for the next one. But the bridge is actually really solid. It's gonna be pushing, it's gonna be testing everything. It's gonna test your wrists, it's gonna test your shoulders, which means your biceps, your chest, all that stuff is involved. Your abs, your hip flexors. This is a really good test once you've already kind of warmed everything up. You can also use it to further progress your mobility, but it is super painful and it's kind of intense, so be careful with it. Now, if you really just want to go balls to the walls, insane Mr. Crazy, if you want to be crazy, do the shoulder stand, and then once you're in that shoulder stand, push that thing, crook that thing over, push your chest out. You're gonna get a super deep thoracic stretch. This one is not for the weak, okay? So you kind of have to be a yoga black belt to nail it. If you got it, you're a badass. Nice work. All right, so next up we have some soft tissue work. We're just gonna be opening up with the foam roll, foam rolling the back. We're gonna be going down from the tailbone all the way up to the neck. Again, everything, you need everything in the handstand. You can't show up short. You cannot show up a day late and $1 short to the handstand. You need the whole 9 yards. You need the whole 9 yards. Anyway, we're gonna be foam rolling our lats. So basically a foam rolling position, pull over to one side, stretch that thing out, stretch out the other side, get those lats nice and open. And then next is the lacrosse ball. So this is more of like the foam roll lat exercise that we just did, except much more intense. This one is kind of like a really specific pinpoint in your body. So I'm just in here working it. When I do this move, I will throw the ball on the floor. I will like just not violently, I will just kind of like roll all over it. I'll kind of do whatever I can, and typically if there's pain in a spot, I will hang out in it. This is one of the many situations in like calisthenics stretching where pain is actually a good thing. Don't overdo it, but if you're feeling pain, that means that you are experiencing some sort of tightness, and that lacrosse ball is getting in there and opening all of that nice muscle up. So lacrosse ball, it's a little bit more effective than the foam roller, because if you think about it, the foam roller is on one pane and it'll only hit like the thing that it hits first. Whereas when you're in here with the lacrosse ball, you can get a lacrosse ball in a very specific spot that sucks, that you wouldn't be able to hit on a foam roller. So make sure that you're using your lacrosse balls. So we have the foam roller exercise. We already did that one. We already did the lacrosse ball. What I like to do is I kind of like to weight it a little bit. So I'm back on the foam roller again. I grabbed a 8 to 10 pound medicine ball just here in the gym. And what I did, I just pulled my thoracic wide open. And this was actually a very good move. It was actually very essential, this movement, in getting my thoracic wide open when I was starting to practice this sort of stuff. So the next version of this is actually a more intense version, what I like to call the elevated foam roller with the bar. So basically, I have just a typical bench press here. I throw the foam roller on top of that, and then I also get like a little, I don't know how much this bar weighs, 25 pound bar. I like to get my back on that foam roller and then take the bar and get a very deep thoracic stretch. This one's gonna be deeper than using the foam roller with the medicine ball. And while you're here, you can play with your hip position a little bit, sink your hips, extend your hips, do everything, like open that thoracic up, see where the pain is, and go to the pain. Dude, just don't even worry about getting a girlfriend. Like, this stuff is painful enough, you know? Anyway, use that one. That one's really good. The next move is going to be the ring stretch. So the ring stretch is actually really badass. And I remember when I was doing gymnastics, I would always be on the ring swinging, and like, it was super painful. And that's because I realized I realized after I did 4 years of it, I'm like, shit, dude, that sucked because I had no thoracic mobility. And then I would do this move and it was super painful. But then nowadays, I don't even feel the pain anymore. Like, it is so easy to me. So this one, you need to start slow with it. It is, I'd say that it's pretty damn intense. So if you're not used to experiencing that sort of thing, ease into it. Be very gentle. Have the rings on like a very gentle setting, and then just like kind of creep into a little bit. So you can raise the rings, you can lower the rings. You need to find out what works for you. You want to experience some discomfort, but if you're experiencing discomfort to the point of pain, cut that shit out. Stop it, do something else, go back to an easier progression with the bar, the med ball and the foam roller, stuff like that. Once you're ready, work your way up to the rings, because this stuff will pry you open. All right guys, and then the final thing here, I'm gonna retest my shoulder mobility. We're gonna see how it compares. And then lastly, a quick handstand to demonstrate. Quick outro, quick outro. Thank you. Thank you for watching this. Enjoy it. Please apply these techniques and let me know how they go. This is the exact progressions I use to get my handstand from some banana back bullshit into a very nice handstand line. So if you guys liked content like this, if you liked hanging out with me, please subscribe, hit that notification button. I am painstakingly making a video every day. It's just difficult. I'm making like 2 a day. We're covering functional fitness, athletics, aesthetics, lifestyle. I'm building this like foundation of value and like really good content. And then after we get this stuff done, we can like take a deep dive into more of these principles and also do more fun stuff. Like, I want to do some flips with you guys. I want to teach you how to, we're going to be doing crazy stuff, and I want you to be a part of it. So again, subscribe, comment, like, come join the party, and yeah, we will talk to you next video. Bye.
𝗕𝗵𝘂𝘆𝗆𝘆 nessa porra.